it's me, Liv. So today I'm going to be working with the newest kit over from Not2Shabby shop, and this is the one from the September kit. This stencil is unique, created by my lovely DT member, Alicia from the Call Me Crafty Owl. And what I'm first going to do is actually use some white pigment ink on top of this craft paper because it's going to help the colors that I put on top of it really pop. You can use this with craft paper, any kind of dark colored paper, and it will help make whatever color you put on top of it stand out. So once I have that all taken care of, now I want you guys to see how the white go ahead and stand out against this craft. It's just a nice way to make it pop. And now I'm going to very quickly go through using the other colors. I'm going to use Distress Oxides because I feel like they would be very bright against this craft background. First I'm using Spice Marmalade. Then I'm going to go ahead and quickly go in with some Squeezed Lemonade. Then I'm going to be moving on to the Festive Berry. Again, I'm trying to keep with a fall type theme. So you see that I'm staying with the oranges, yellows, reds, and a little bit of green. For the green, I'm using Cracked Pistachio. And then once I have gone ahead and filled this in, I'm actually going to go back and do it twice just to make sure that the colors really stick. So once that's all set, I have the background, which is going to be the base of my card. This is a little bit bigger than I normally do in terms of the size that I use for my cards, but doesn't that look great? And actually, if you put it a little bit off angle, what's really cool is that you get those like white outlines. So I'm actually just taking my brushes and cleaning them off on a craft cardstock, which is going to serve two purposes. I'm going to actually use it in my card and then go ahead and color on it. So now that's going to show you the stamp set that I'm using. So the main stamp set that I'm focusing on is Autumn Vibes. Now I understand that this one might be sold out, but sometimes Jamie does have them available as individual sets outside of the kit. So definitely go check that out. If it is, I would definitely encourage all of you to be sure that you're getting involved in the monthly kit of the month. Jamie's very generous over at the Not2Shabby shop, and make sure that you guys have plenty of papers, ephemera, as well as different stamps that can go great with any types of different themes that she has. And I've been loving all of the different collections. So as you see, I did actually the same thing when I did the white underneath. Then I'm going to go ahead and stamp with the color on top. And I'm going to keep doing this a couple times because my colors were just a little bit light. But once I've gone ahead and figured it all out, I was able to get a much brighter color. Then I decided that I am going to be using this big, lovely center like fall display in the middle of my card. So because I am going to be doing some watercoloring, I'm actually going to be using VersaClear because that works really well because it's waterproof. And so once I've gone ahead and put that, I'm just going to add a little bit of accent of some brown in here because it's just a perfect fall color. Then I'm going to be taking my same Distress Oxide pads that I've used in the beginning. So this is Squeeze Lemonade, and I'm going to put some water on it and then use my water brush to go ahead and color this all in. It's just a hint of color, but it's just enough to help it pop against the craft cardstock. So once I've had those all colors, I'm actually going to be using multiple colors here. And then once I have that ready, I'm going to go ahead and trim this out. So that's one of the things I really do love about using oxides. You can use them as watercolors on different papers, and because they're so easily reactive to the water, it works really well. And so don't be afraid to try different techniques with your oxides because they come in very handy for doing that. Next, I'm going to be moving on to just setting up the placement of my card. Now, I mentioned earlier, this is actually usually bigger than I do. I think this is a 6x6 type of card, but I figured it really worked well for all the elements. And I decided I'm just going to take this centerpiece that I had trimmed out, that I had stamped before and watercolored, and pop it up with some foam tape. It really is going to stand as the major centerpiece of this card. Once it's all popped up with the foam tape, I'm just going to center it onto the card. And finally move on to the final elements. I'm going to be putting this onto a 6x6 card base. All I'm doing is very quickly using some of my vintage photo along the edges just to distress it a bit so that it comes together very well. Adding some tape onto the back. Sometimes I pop up, sometimes I don't. It just really depends on if this is a card that I may actually mail, because I find the flatter it is, the better it is. So now that I have that all done, I'm going to just finish off. Oops, got a little bit left over of my Nouveau drops here in that yellow color. One of the things I do love about Nouveau drops is just how quickly you can go ahead and correct something and wipe it off, because it takes just a little bit to dry. And now my card is done. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you all soon. Take care. Bye.